We're the Wests. We're the Wests.
Keenan,
We're
Johnny,
the
Kai, Kelsey
West.
Cohen.
We're
Keenan, Johnny, Kai,
the
Kelsey
West.
Cohen. And we're reclaiming our identity.
Hello and welcome back to our channel, Reclaiming Our Identity. I'm Keenan and this is my wife, Janine. And we are the West. And we have been documenting our trip, our journey to prepare to eventually move to the continent of Africa. And so if you've seen our other videos, of course, we documented our trip to Tanzania. And we are continuing with these videos to further give you some more insight as to our journey to Africa. So for those who are subscribers and you haven't seen us in probably about 2 months, you're probably wondering.
It feels like longer, but
It probably has been about April, May, June,
Yeah,
probably
it's
about
about
3
to be
months. About four months. Where have we been? So where have we been?
whew, working,
Working,
keeping up with children,
children.
trying to make sure that they stay occupied with COVID changing their school lives and their summer vacation plans to go to camp. Can't send them away anymore.
Yeah.
So that and
The pandemic.
navigating,
Just-
family life.
Yeah, family.
Finally getting a chance to really sit down and, quiet the house down and take the time to prepare the setup for doing a video. It takes a little bit. So finally, we just had the opportunity. Prior to that, we just go.
Just been busy. And so we've mentioned in our previous videos, a couple of previous videos, that we are, as I said before, we are just documenting our trip, our transition, better yet, to Africa, and our
To the big move.
And we mentioned before that our next destination is the country of Ghana. And so why Ghana? Why Ghana? So I've been to Ghana. I've actually went to Ghana in 2008. Because for those who don't know, I am a pastor. And in 2008, the summer of 2008, I preached for 3 weeks there in Kumasi.
Why?
Because I was basically in a pastoral student, a theology major, and we went over there. It was about 30 of us. We went to Ghana, to Kumasi, and we preached all over Kumasi. Hundreds of people, thousands of people were ended up making decisions for the Lord and getting baptized. And so,
Question, I don't remember. Did you have to do that, or that was voluntary?
that one was voluntary. So I went to Ghana voluntary, and then I also went to Houston. That one was mandatory.
So the reason I ask is because our daughter was born in 2008.
Yes,
You remember that?
I remember that. So,
She was how old?
how old was she?
She wasn't a year yet.
No, because she was born in 2008, and so
Yeah.
I went in the summer of 2008.
And she was born in March.
So several months later.
Yes.
So
And you went on a voluntary basis. And was
Yeah.
your wife supportive of that?
I believe it was voluntary.
I believe so too.
I believe so. I can't remember. It was one of the two. So I went in 2007 as well as in 2000. Excuse me.
I'm just talking
I know
about
I
Ghana.
preached in 2007 and 2008. I can't remember if that one was, which one was mandatory. So we had to preach a 3-week revival evangelistic meeting type
I was trying to get
thing.
some credit.
Are you trying to get some credit for what?
That I was supportive of you going so soon after
Oh.
the baby was born.
Oh yeah, you got some credit then.
I got some or I get some
Yeah,
now.
you got some. You got some back then.
I remember being so excited when you were coming back because I called my godmother, who is an incredible cook, and I was like, Aunt Dolores, I have got to make him the best meal he has ever had, because my boy is coming home, okay? And he been over there eating all that good African food with all them good flavors. I got to hook him up. I'm so excited he's coming back. And that's when I first learned how to make the vegan meatballs. And she told me her secret to how to make them, the texture really good. And I remember I made collard greens. I vividly see myself right now in the kitchen cooking that meal, trying to make sure Kaya stayed asleep so she wouldn't interrupt me doing it. And I think I made a cake, and I couldn't wait till you came through the door. I remember the day you came back home from Ghana.
Of course, I don't remember that day. But that's neither here nor there, because I don't remember very much of anything.
As long as I just get my credit.
Yes, credit. So, but the food in Ghana was delicious, just to note. But anyway, so I was there in 2008 and enjoyed myself the time that I spent, but I really didn't get to see Ghana, because I was there for a mission. I was there to preach. And so we were there 3 weeks, I think it was about 21 days exactly, something like that. And so I really didn't get to experience it. We went to Cape Coast, we went to the Slave Castle, we went to Accra, but we didn't really experience Accra. But because it was in 2007, 2008, we really didn't, there's so much that has changed in 14 years. So we are heading back to, I am heading back to Ghana, and we are heading to Ghana together. So why Ghana? Why do we choose Ghana?
Did we choose Ghana, dear heart?
Yes, we. I is we. I is we.
Woo.
So
Okay.
Ghana has been, the Lord is really, I've been wanting to go to Ghana for a while. The Lord has just been impressed upon my heart that Ghana is the place.
So I think that was initially it, when you say why Ghana, because you had been there before and you were really intrigued with it. You had a good experience there. The people were extremely warm and welcoming, you said. And you said then, I gotta go back, I wanna take you back.
Yeah.
From day one, you knew you wanted to go back, and you wanted me to be able to go with you. So then, as you felt this pull to the continent in general, I think that was the very first place you considered and started looking at documentaries and YouTube videos from individuals who were giving information about Ghana. And you started honing in on the cost of living, what real estate purchasing would look like, what job opportunities or investment opportunities would be, what does the infrastructure look like, would it be a comfortable transition, would it be a drastic change from lifestyles. That's just where that was your first go to. The only reason we ended up detouring to Tanzania was because you know how when you watch YouTube videos, it makes suggestions for other things that you should see, and he happened to see some about Tanzania and looked at those and realized that the housing
cost of
costs
living
were
is
less expensive in Tanzania than in Ghana. So it was like, well, maybe it will be more cost effective for us to check out Tanzania to live rather than Ghana. And so, of course, we paid our visit there. It's not going to be a fit for our family, so we're back to Ghana.
Right, and what's interesting is that, I feel like the Lord specifically set it up that way, to where that's where I feel like He's always, been calling Ghana. And so the door, I guess, metaphorically closed, or is closed on Tanzania. Because we've gone, beautiful place, wonderful people, but it's just not, where I feel like the Lord is calling us. And so we are getting ready to check out Ghana. And so we've looked at several things in regards to Ghana, and wanting to make a wise decision. And so we've looked at one of the things that the Ghana has a large expat community, And so a lot of people from the States, as well as from around the world, diasporans, settle in Ghana. And so
they're welcoming to repatriation.
Yes.
Probably starting before they did the year of return.
Year of return in 2019.
I would think that the year of return was a culmination of their desire to and interest and intrigue African Americans in particular to come back
home.
The west coast of Africa, where they were taken from many years ago, because our history does not begin when
in 1619.
It does not.
Does not.
Go way
Does
back
not.
before that.
Yes.
So yeah, I guess the fact that it seemed like they were setting up methods, procedures, processes to make it easier for people to come back was another factor that made it seem like it would be feasible for us. So there you have it. That's why Ghana.
That's why Ghana. Also, because it's one of the, if not the safest, it's said to be the safest country in Africa, and we also want to make sure that we go someplace where our family feels safe.
When you say safe, are you talking in terms of terrorism, general crime?
Just general. I mean, just in general.
Civilian crime, whatever.
Yeah, just in general, because everything I've heard.
Corruption. Everything
I've heard is that the people are very welcoming. Even when we went in 2007, 2008, the people were very welcoming. It's a.
But how does that relate to the crime? It's both very welcoming.
Yeah, you're gonna have crime. You're gonna have crime everywhere you go. You're gonna have crime everywhere you go.
Yes.
Because nobody's perfect. But everything that I've heard is that it is one of, if not the safest country in Africa. So that's one of the reasons. Also, infrastructure and development. They're very progressive over there. A lot of the videos I watch, and also some of the things that we've heard about the president.
From his own lips,
videos
that we've watched, he has impressed us with regard to how he wants to protect his country from
the West.
Not us, the West.
Not us.
But from exploitation.
Yes.
We're not having it over here. We're not. We're going to learn to manufacture and utilize our own resources and make money from our own resources rather than selling them off and letting other people make millions off of what
billions.
Off of what they take from us for pennies. So I like that. He's well educated, very well spoken. He seems to be down to earth too, and level. I mean, of course, I haven't met him in person. This is only from speeches that I've heard him and guest appearances or what have you. But he seems to truly, genuinely want the best for his country and the citizens of his country. Even when it comes to COVID, he was playing no games. He's like, no, we're getting the vaccine here. And we're gonna educate the people, and we're gonna wear masks. Y'all gonna wear some masks. We try not to we want to keep down the spread. Unlike some other leadership in our own country who were not really encouraging mask wearing and social distancing and limitation of mass gatherings and things like that. He's following the facts. And not being a COVID denier. He wants to protect people and inform people and enable them to stay healthy and safe. So I like that. And I mean, as long as I have the power of choice.
That's right. So we are preparing. We will be leaving to visit Ghana the end of September. We'll be there about nine days. So we kind of wanted to talk about the process, what we've had to go through to, for those who may be thinking about traveling to Ghana.
Yeah.
And so I think one of the first things is you need to make sure your passport is up to date.
Number one,
make sure your passport is up to date, because it has to be 6 months, prior to. So your passport has to be at least 6 months or more.
It has to be issued at least 6 months or more.
No, it has to be It can't expire. It can't expire. I'm sorry.
Within 6 months.
Within
of the
6 months of the date of travel.
Okay.
So you have to make sure that that is up to date. Also, you want to go online. You want to book your tickets. I checked out several different sites. Skyscanner seems to have the cheapest price. Skyscanner, Google Flights. I ended up buying on Orbitz. What was interesting is that initially, I guess a couple of months ago, I saw a flight round trip for like $800 and something, and I wish I would have bought it then, because I've looked almost every day since then, and I've not been able to find that price. And so,
but if it's any consolation, at the time that you were looking, the dates you were going to book were different and would not have worked well.
Right, they probably were.
So it's possible that if you looked for the dates that we're going now, at that time the price might have been about the same. So
right.
That helps you feel any better.
Yeah, so the price, and so as I continue to look, everywhere on each website I looked, all of the prices were basically almost literally the same. And so for a round trip ticket.
That reminds me, I gotta get trip insurance.
So it's about a little over $1,000 per person round trip to go to fly to Ghana at the time that we're going.
Approximately how many hours is the flight?
The flight it depends. The shortest is about 14, 16 hours, something like that. And we're coming from Nashville. Right. And then, the longest can be, 30 plus hours. But it's about
with layovers. I'm talking about
No,
legs.
right. No, but legs it's still literally about 14 and 16 hours, because I think the one we have is going to be about 16 hours. So it's 10 hours from New York to Ghana, and the other 6 hours is from Nashville to, New York. And then, Nashville to Atlanta, then to New York or something like that, and then, maybe an hour or two later.
Some other YouTubers that we watch, I like the idea they have. If the children were going with us, I would have suggested this. They like to get a long layover and stay overnight. For example, I would have even suggested it for us because I really like New York. We could have spent a day in New York, but he's anxious to get to Africa. He just wants to get, so he probably wouldn't have been as enthusiastic about a day. But taking a layover, a 24-hour layover, stay in New York, sightsee a little bit in New York, and then fly out. Instead of having a short layover in the airport and then continue on your flight. It gives you a chance to kind of stretch your legs, rest a little bit if you have a really, really long flight ahead of you or something like that. So I'm just putting that out there for some families who may be considering going, especially if you have children. Don't be afraid if you see very long layovers on your trip. You might even want to look for some of that to give your children an opportunity to sleep in a hotel, rest overnight, maybe sightsee a little bit in the city, especially if it's one like New York or Chicago or something like that, because they have Uber. They've got the hop on, off tour buses. You pay one ticket price and you can get on and it'll drive you around the city and give you sightseeing and historical insights, and then you get back on and you just pay that one price, get your Uber back to the hotel and get on to the airport and fly out if that's something that will be helpful for you. It's something to consider.
Or you can just go straight to Africa and not do all the extra layover stuff, because New York will be there. So will Chicago.
I really like where are we gonna go?
New York and Chicago will always be there. Now,
Africa won't always be there.
But it takes longer to get to Africa.
So just hurry up and
You gotta hurry up and get there. Because you want to be able to spend as much time there as possible.
Yes. Like I said, you probably would not have been enthusiastic about that suggestion,
No,
so I didn't make it.
No, we would not have been spending the night in New York.
I know.
Unless we were forced to. Yeah. So, anyway, so we had to. So we got the flights, and also part of that, you also have to make sure that you get a visa. If you are especially coming from the U.S., then you have to have a visa. Now, the visa process is interesting.
Did you have to have, there was something you had to have before you could even book the ticket, when that was the passport, right? Then you have to
you have to have your passport
to even book the flight. Right,
you have to have your passport to book the flight. That's why you have to make sure you have your passport and you have it up to date before you can even book the flight. So then you also have to have a visa. And the visa was interesting. So there are different ways you can get the visa. They have these different companies online where you can, passport visa, .com or some craziness or whatever. And then you can also just do it straight through the consulate in DC or in New York. Now, what's interesting is that, so I'm looking online because, okay, I want to get the cheapest deal, right? I don't want to pay arm and a leg
You
for
want
the
to go
visa.
through the least expensive process.
The least expensive process to get the visa because, it's already, it's not a cheap trip.
The flight is already dipping into the wallet quite a bit.
Right. So the visa. So I'm looking online, and so I'm trying to figure out. Okay, I want to be able to get the visa and get it, in a timely manner, because I want to be settled. I want to have that, have that taken care of and have it settled. So I go online and I'm trying to fill it, through the consulate, and it's only $60 when you go through DC or New York through the consulate, the Ghana embassy in DC or New York. So you go online, you have to fill out the application online. And you fill out the application online, you take care of everything online. Now, what was frustrating is this. Now, this is something you need to know. So I was having some problems with the online application process.
Specifically uploading your documents.
Uploading my documents. Mm-hmm. And so, I had some other questions prior to that as well. So I'm trying to upload. And so I'm calling DC and New York. Okay. As a matter of fact, first I called New York.
The Ghanaian embassy.
The Ghanaian embassy in New York initially.
Mm-hmm.
And so every time I called 3 times. All 3 times, I sit on hold for at least 30 minutes.
Each individual time.
Each individual time. Sit on hold for 30 minutes. So they say, okay, you are the 7th person in line. You have such and such minutes, until, they get to you, whatever. So I'm sitting on hold. Okay, no problem. I get up. I'm the first caller in the queue. And it hangs up on me.
And I know what you said. I can hear my husband now. I wasn't here for us. You got to be kidding me. Is that what you said?
You gotta be kidding. I sit online. So then, okay, all right, maybe it's a mistake. So let me try it again. Okay. The exact same thing happened again. Literally. So I'm like, okay, we gotta figure out something else. So I go online. So then what I did is I tried to go through the DC embassy.
You said, I'm gonna call somebody else.
Call somebody else.
Yeah.
Now I called them, you go, okay, press 5 to speak to so-and-so, whatever. Every single time I called, nobody answered. When I mean every time, I mean every time. And I'm talking about this happened the entire week. The entire week I called, nobody answered. No matter what extension I hit, nobody answered.
Did you look to see if they were on a federal holiday or something?
I looked at all of that and nothing. So then what happened is I finally got through on a chat. And so I'm trying, because mind you, I'm still trying to do this application. Okay, I'm still trying to do the application. And I can't get this thing, and I got some questions, I can't get it to work.
And this is the guy that wants things done yesterday. Get it done.
Yeah, last week. So
your patience. The Lord said, I'm gonna help improve your skills with patience this week.
So I'm on the chat and I'm talking to this guy. I'm on the thing, whatever. And so I'm telling him what's going on. I'm sending him screenshots and everything, and it's not letting me, upload and all this other stuff. And I am literally on the chat with this guy for an hour and 22 minutes. Okay, an hour and 22 minutes. Now, mind you, in the midst, so I'm on the chat with the guy, and I'll say something, and the dude will straight up not respond to me for like 10 minutes.
No, they call that ghosting. He ghosted you.
And I'm sitting up there, I'm like, hello. And then he finally comes back like he just like I just asked him a question 2 seconds ago. And so he did this happened a couple times during the chat. And so I finally said, another hello, and I said, can you at least let me know that, hey, you're working on it, give me a minute or something like that, because I've been dealing with this application process for this visa all week. I've called such and such, I've called such and such, nobody's answering. I'm telling him everything I've done, everything I've gone through. And I said, as diasporans, we want to come back home. But this is making the process very frustrating. Okay? So he comes back on the chat and does not respond to anything I said at all. Okay.
But your commentary got him to respond.
I don't know if it got him to respond.
He responded 2 seconds later.
I don't know if he responded 2 seconds later, but he didn't put like this. So then what I realized is this, because then I did, at the same time I'm talking to him, I did another chat with, the same consulate, DC. I did one on Safari and one on Google, right? So I'm doing another chat, and I'm talking to this lady. Now, mind you, they go to lunch from 12 to 1. So I'm on the chat with the one guy for an hour and a half, basically almost an hour and a half. Okay, the lady I get on with 15 minutes before her lunch period, right? So I explained to her, what happened or whatever, and I'm like, I know y'all go to lunch at such and such time, whatever. And it's like, and basically I'm frustrated because, I know when you go to lunch, I'm going to be out of luck again. Okay. So I'm still chatting with the gentleman. All right. And before he even, my issue has not been solved. All right. Dude straight up says, have a nice day. Are you for real? And then, so of course I'm hot. Okay. Excuse me. I'm a little upset. The lady does the same thing a few minutes later as I'm talking to her. And so one of the things I realized is this. Most likely I was not talking to the Ghana consulate, the embassy. I was talking to
an outsourced chat.
In Thailand somewhere.
Budapest
or someplace.
Bali.
Somewhere. Because, and it made sense because when I said the whole part about the diaspora, they didn't respond. Didn't respond at all. And also the two names were not, they weren't names that I would think that, my brothers and sisters from the motherland would have. But anyway, so you got to get your visa.
Be prepared for it to be challenging, possibly.
It may be challenging.
So what were some of the questions that you had so that those watching the videos may know what to prepare for? Do you remember specifically what there was I remember there being one question you weren't exactly sure how to answer the question on the form. So
what you have to do is, and we sent our visas in. Okay, excuse me. We sent our application in. So let me say this. Let me answer this first. So you fill out the application online. Then after you fill it out, you pay for it and everything online. Also, so that's $60 per application. So that's $120 plus. They outsource the mailing of it. So you're going to mail it. You're going to print out the application you just filled out online, and then you're going to mail it along with your yellow fever vaccine, which you have to have. You can't go to Ghana without it.
We gotta talk about that.
Okay, and also your passport. You have to mail those two things along with your application. Now, what they do is they will take all of that information, they'll mail it back with your with your visa. But what happens is when you get to the end of the whole application process, there's a $30 charge for them to mail it back. A mailing fee. Okay. Now, the thing is, on there, they say per person. I didn't pay them $60. I just paid them $30. Cause it don't make sense. You
like put it all in one package.
I mean, yeah, because everything is all in one package. So because the company that mails it back, I mean, it's a separate company.
I hope I get my stuff back.
So yes, so the thing is, I mean, you know, it's because it's like, you want me to pay you $60 to put my stuff in the mail that cost me $5 to send, and you want to charge me $60 to send it back?
For the visa. On top of the $60 for the visa.
On top of the $120 for the visa.
All right.
Right. So anyway, where were we? The yellow fever.
So that's
put
the
all the
completion
information
of the visa
in.
process.
That's the completion of the visa process. And we are actually waiting for it to come back. It's supposed to take about 2 weeks for it to come back. And that's just the regular, it's
Mail,
2 to 3
not
weeks regular
expedited.
mail, right? Not the expedited. And you were going to say about the yellow fever. Or you were going to say something else?
Well, yeah. Well, I was going to say that one of the next things that you would need to do or have to prepare to go would be the yellow fever vaccine. But before that, I might suggest to make copies of your things before you send them off, just in case. Or possibly you may want to spend a little bit more and send it certified, so you know that somebody signs for it. The post office will verify that someone signed.
You can't do it with you can't do it certified because you have your because you have your passport in there, and it's like a package, because that's what I was doing at first, certified, but they said they had to send it I can't remember what's
first
the
class or priority.
It wasn't first. Maybe I can't remember which one they did, but you can't send it certified because it's literally a package, because when it goes through on the I guess the conveyor belt or whatever, you know, it has to be smooth for it to be certified. But what they do is the other one, they give you a tracking number so you'll know when it gets there. So go ahead. The yellow fever.
Yellow fever. So, of course, with my husband doing all the research for everything required to enter the country and the continent, we had to look and find out what vaccines are required. And yellow fever was required. Malaria is suggested. When you go to make your appointment for your vaccine, you may also get some recommendations for other vaccines and medications. So I would suggest just checking the specific area that you plan to visit and find out what the CDC guidelines are with regard to whether or not they are mandatory or not, just for that specific area that you're going to, because every place in Africa doesn't have the same kind of
vaccines that are necessary,
and conditions and concerns. So though the cost for the yellow fever, too much. First of all, it's very expensive. It was $280 per person, and that was the least expensive one that we were able to find. And I'm going to say here, vaccines to go, I'm very disappointed, have yet to call me back. We have a friend that has done several
that's right.
done several mission trips, and he always uses vaccine to go. He lives in Atlanta when they're based in Atlanta, but they have, on their website, it says that they have practitioners all over the 50 United States. And I called
the same day, and they have not called us back. It's been a week.
Yeah. Well, my husband called around to several different places. We live in Nashville, so he checked Vanderbilt Travel Clinic,
all of these different places.
all the different places. They have consultation fees, and then the fee for the vaccine itself that were almost close to $300. And so, like I said, we were just comparing pricing, and he found the one that we ended up going to, which
cheapest was $280
per person. But
the vaccine was $250.
Okay.
So it's the vaccine. They charge you $200+ for the vaccine, and then
just the shot in your arm.
The shot in your arm, and then for you to come get the shot, they charge you a consultation fee, and the cheapest one was $30.
Yeah, and it was in that consultation that the recommendations for the other, like typhoid fever and some other things that they said that they have to inform you are recommended to get if you go, but you can choose to get them or not. And then we got the prescription for the malaria pills while we were there, because we paid the consultation fee. We might want to go ahead and get the pills. Oh my goodness.
Those vaccines are a rip off.
So expensive. I would love to know how they price them. If anybody knows, if there is anybody out there in public health or immunology or anything, and you know how they come up to their fee schedule for the cost of
please put it in the comments, because it's
let
ridiculous.
us know.
It's ridiculous.
And I'm going to even say, we think that it's a possible method of discouraging travel to some third world countries, and specifically Africa, to make it cost so
it's
much.
Always
it might not
harder.
Be just the theory.
Everything costs more, and it's harder to go to Africa.
Yeah, a lot of red tape and
it's a lot of red tape.
Steps.
A lot of red tape.
Costly.
So that's the process. We are actually currently waiting for our visas to come back, so that we will be at ease.
So what next? We have the passports. We got the yellow fever vaccination. We have our prescription for our malaria pills.
We're waiting on the visas. And
our lodging is booked.
Our lodging, yes. So we got an Airbnb. We'll have some pictures of that, some video of that when we get there. But it
looks very, very nice.
Nice.
This is an anniversary trip, so we had to.
This is nice.
Couldn't just do a little hotel.
Yeah.
And the price.
It's
$47 a night.
This is nice. We'll have to, when we get there and we check it out, and we'll let you see. But
we hope it's as nice as we think it is. But it looks really nice online. $47 a night with breakfast included, cooked fresh on site.
Yes.
Daily.
Yes. So
nice accommodations.
Yes, I think that's it. We will be back to give you a little bit more updates on how things are going as we are preparing for our trip, our anniversary trip to Ghana. We will be celebrating 18 years.
21 years together with this guy here.
Married 18 years.
Married.
Yes. I know she doesn't look like she's been married 18 years.
You don't either.
I know. I know. Well, thanks for watching our channel, Reclaiming Our Identity. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe. Hit that like button. Hit the little notification bell thing there, so you'll know when we upload other videos.
If you have any suggestions for things that we should do or see, individuals we should meet, especially when it comes to repatriating, any thoughts or suggestions and advice for our trip while we're there, let us know so we can make a list and check it out.
All right. Thanks. And we'll see you next time.